Hi all, good evening. My name's Debbie. I'm a Live for Love TV subscriber on YouTube. It's a very informative channel. So when you have a spare moment, please like, share and subscribe. Live for Love TV. Thank you.
Welcome back to Live for Love TV. Today's the 28th day, the 7th month, the 23rd year inside the 21st century. Hope everyone's doing extremely well out there. Now, we're hearing a lot, excuse me, we're hearing a lot about this digital currencies that the central banks around the world are either trialing right now or considering to bring in. Now, America has a thing. Jamaica has already said, I think over a year ago, they said they were going to bring it in. I haven't seen any sign of it in Jamaica. It's not quite hit the place in America, but it's been in Africa for quite a while. And people may not even realize that when most people use their phones to pay for everything. Sometimes you don't see people using a lot of, there's a lot of cash being used, but some people don't use much cash. They've just got their money in their digital wallet. So I've used it and I've seen it work and I've seen it in operation. But the reason I'm talking about it is because in the Western society, you're getting a lot of people on the social media right now talking about what they're saying is that, this is a very bad thing, and the government's going to know every penny you're spending. And, we should rail up against it and all this kind of stuff. And I was thinking about it and I was thinking, well, considering that most of the everyday people have just about got enough money to pay their bills, pay for their transports, whatever it is, their mortgage, their regular bills or whatever, rent, and maybe they got a little over to buy some sneakers here, and if their cooker breaks down, they buy a new cooker or off the washing machine, that they don't have money that they have to worry about the government knowing what they're spending. Who are these people that are trying to get the everyday man behind them to say, oh, they're going to know every penny you spend? Who are these people? Who are these people? Because they sound like I'm not going to call them criminals. Maybe some of them are, maybe some are. Who are they? Who are these people that have all this money that they're spending here and spending there and spending there that they don't want the government to know anything about? Because governments control currency. If I don't know what country you're in right now, but just take the money out of your pocket and look, and you're going to see that money is come from your central bank. It's been controlled by the government. So the government knows all the money it's put out, all the money that's put out, and it puts out and pulls out as it wishes. Money has always been controlled. So when they're trying to make it sound like this digital currency is going to be controlled for the first, like your money's going to be controlled for the first time, I don't know where they're coming from. Money's always controlled. You don't, no matter where you live, the money is controlled by the central governments. And as I said to you already, if people are worried about people knowing where they're spending, your digital currency, what about when you use your card? Right now, if you're using a card and you spend it on the transport system, in a restaurant, it comes up directly on your system to say that's where you were at this time and where you spent it. Exactly the same as a digital currency. So if you're not going to rail against credit cards and debit cards, then how can you be railing against digital currencies for the very same reason and doing the very same thing? People have to think for themselves when it comes to money, and don't let people on social media who have got other agendas why they don't want a digital currency. I haven't got a dog in the fight, as they say, right? But it's digital currency. I don't care either way what they do with it, because the money that I have in my pocket has always been controlled. It's controlled at all times. There's times when the currency you have in your pocket is going to be phased out. So the dollar, the pound, the euro, all of a sudden, you can't use that anymore. That money has to be phased out and they bring in the new one. So they know exactly how much you have. Eventually they get a date where they say, well, if you don't use these notes by 2027, they'll no longer see legal currency. Very, 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 everybody knows these things. So don't get caught up in that. Now, another thing about money is money originally in any system, and let's just talk about me and you. We set up a little system where we live, and there's 50 of us or 100 of us, and we've created money. Our money is created as currency. Yeah, it's currency. So it's like electric current. It goes round and round. I buy something from you, buy something from me, he buys something, and the currency goes round and round, and that's how your system will run. That's just a local community. That's how it's supposed to run. Now, if you have a situation where people are taking money some of that money out of the system and hiding it under their bed or putting it in a bank or putting it somewhere else, that money doesn't go around in the community. And then you start to get sufferation. Then you start to get people having less money and less ability to get to that money. So the money has to be used. Now, we know with this digital currency, if you have any sense about money and understand how it works, they will probably bring it in. And when they bring it in, they probably will have expiry dates on it, like how they have on food and everything else. Now, why am I saying that just after saying what I've just said about money going around? Because if there's an expiry date on your money in your pocket, you're going to have to spend it, as it's going to be of no use to you after a certain while. Now, some people say, well, that's a bad thing. I want to keep my money. But I just try to explain to you that in any community, if your money stops becoming currency, just like electric current that goes around it doesn't go to one house, it goes from house to house, from pole to pole, all around. If you break the circuit, then electric current stops running. And if you keep breaking these circuits with money, and I don't care whether it's offshore banking or this or that, whatever they're doing, or people hiding money all over the place, eventually you start to get the level of poverty that we have on the planet, because the money is out there, but it's getting into the hands of 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 people, 1%ers, 2%ers, these people, their people, and a lot of other people can't get their hands on any money whatsoever. That happens because the circuit has been broken. Whether you understand that or not, that's what's really happening. So if they do bring in a digital currency, and if they do say, well, you've got this money and you've got 6 years to spend it, or you've got 5 years to spend it, as it becomes, some people say, well, I don't want to, but I don't understand. If you get money in, surely you must know it has to go out. We didn't come on earth to hoard. I've never seen anybody die and take anything with them. So if you come on earth and your only job is to get money and hoard it and not spend it and not bring it around and not let it circulate, but you want to hoard it, then you've got a very sick mind. And that's what a lot of us have, a very sick mind. We're trying to hoard money, yet we know that we cannot take our money with us. We all know this. So money has to circulate. If you want to have a healthy system, and I'm not saying these governments and these big, whatever they call it, Davos people and all that, I'm not saying that they're doing the right thing, because I'm not in their think tanks. I don't know what they're talking about, but I don't get frightened when they speak. I've heard people say you'll own nothing and you'll be happy. Well, that don't sound too bad to me. If I am available to have a car, to have a house, if I have a decent house to live in, a decent car, a decent transport, able to do all the things I want, but own nothing, but I'm able to freely do those things just like it, well, why wouldn't I be happy? Because there's almost nothing that you own that doesn't actually end up owning you. It restricts you from what you can do. So when you own a house, you're restricted to be close to where that house is. If you're not there where the house is, believe me, it won't be long before people will be telling you someone's coming to your house, maybe someone's done this, the house is breaking down, family members are taking over the house and they're not doing this is what's going to happen to your house. So usually what you own owns you. So I don't know, again, when I hear this you'll own nothing and you'll be happy, I don't know what they're talking about, but that's something that sounds okay to me. It doesn't sound bad unless they decide that you don't have the ability to be in a house. Whether you own it or not, you're going to still have to stay on the street, then of course it's bad. But if everyone's housed, but none of us own any house, or everyone's got their car, but none of us literally own it, if everybody's got the ability to get on a plane, but nobody, owns anything like that, then what would be the problem? We're still on earth and we're still living the same life. I don't really get the fear to that. I know people have been born to believe that they own something. Like you get a BMW car and people think, oh God, man, I'm a BMW, man, I have to own a BMW. Well, I don't know. I mean, it's nice. Cars are nice. You want to own your car, all well and good. But the truth is, it's still called a BMW. It's not called by your name. You're promoting BMW every time you drive their car for free. That's how they make their money. That's how they brand, and that's how they work. So whether you own it or not doesn't make any difference. BMW is still laughing all the way to the bank. And when your car breaks down, you've got to bring it back to them, in order for them, for them to take care of it. And sometimes they even made a mistake and they're saying, well, we've got to recall the cars between 2014 and 2017. So much for you owning the car. They're recalling them. And if you don't bring them in, then, you're on your own problems. Maybe insurance won't even insure you. So all these things are kind of tricky. But the most important thing for a person to stick to is to be centered, to be balanced, and to be centered, so that these things that come and go, and these ideas that comes and go, these ideologies that come and go, don't really trouble you too much. Because a lot of these people, like I said, on social media, they're fearmongers. They get their views by frightening the hell out of people. The digital currency is frightening people, terrifying them. And they're even terrifying people who hardly got any money anyway. And I'm finding that amazing. A lot of people ain't got hardly any money. They're struggling, just about can pay their bill, and they're worried about digital currencies. Why would they be worried about digital currency? You've hardly got any money. Let those people who have got the millions and the billions and the thing hidden off under their beds and in the bushes and wherever they've hidden them, let them worry and let them fear. Don't let them come on YouTube and fool you, and social media, TikTok, whatever they are, and fool you into joining their band and getting angry with them. They're clever. They're smart. They won't share any of that money with you, but they have problems with certain people knowing how much money they have. Well, they must have quite a lot of money. Seriously, because most of you guys watching this video here now, I know you're not loaded that way. And who cares if they know when you bought you bought a new TV? Who cares? Who cares they know you bought a washing machine, you bought this, or you bought a plane ticket to go somewhere? Who cares? The people who are worried about where they're spending this money, what exactly are they buying? And how exactly are they spending it? That's what you want to ask yourself before they start talking about people worrying about that. I got debit cards, I've got credit cards, and every time I take it out, they know exactly how much I've spent, they know exactly where I spent it, and they know exactly what time I spent it on. And people do that every day, in and out of the shops, and don't think twice about it. But now all of a sudden digital currency come in and it may do the same thing. Somebody's out there fearing, giving you that sort of fearmonger thing. Don't get involved. Really, please, don't get involved. Keep your own mind, keep your own spirit and your own soul. Take care. Live for Love TV.
One step more, one step more, one step more, one step more until you reach your goals. One step more. This is Live for Love TV.